Hello and thank you for joining me for your daily reading. So today we're taking a look at how you can release past trauma. Now obviously if you feel that you don't have to release or work through any past trauma, then this reading is not going to be for you. Okay, right, so let's take a look at this energy then. What is going on for our collective, please? How can they release their past trauma? Okay. Straight away, with the way that the deck is handling, there seems to be quite a lot that you have never discussed, have never spoken on, but energetically, it's all still in there. Does that make sense? It's just with the way that that was handling then as I was shuffling. It's like there was so much that wants to come out, but none of it really could, you know, so there was a lot of like repressed stuff that was going on there. Right, so how has this trauma impacted on your life? The Lovers. So it looks like your trauma has impacted on the way that you relate to others, okay? That could be romantically or professionally or just on a day-to-day basis. The Lovers is your relationships with others in this particular context, okay? So that's how your trauma has affected you. Now, you could also, within romantic relationships, and this is really, really common for anyone who has got any sort of unresolved trauma, they tend to find that they repeat patterns in their adult relationships, okay? We're naturally attracted to what we know, to what feels familiar. So you might have recognized that your romantic relationships or the types of friends that you make, you know, that they're all of the same, if that makes sense. Okay. Right, what emotions do you carry because of your trauma? The Eight of Wands. Okay, it's a bit of a strange one to get as emotions that you carry because of your trauma. It could be a bit of FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. It could be on an emotional level that you feel that you have to give everything all at once, you know, out of I don't know, maybe just revealing too much of yourself all at once, you know, not leaving anything back, not leaving anything to be discovered, if that makes sense. Feeling this urge to let anyone that you're interested in know everything all at once, okay? Emotionally, I want to say, you might feel like you're trauma dumping on others, with that being the Eight of Wands, okay? Okay, how does this trauma affect your relationships with others? The Knight of Wands, yeah, like you have to move fast, you have to be quick. Again, with that fear of missing out. Your Knight of Wands is it can be very flighty. So you could find that when it comes down to other people, that you get disinterested really, really quickly. You know, it's like 1 minute you're all for them, and then the next minute you get bored and you don't want to know. You're disinterested. You want to move on to the next thing. It's this need to constantly be stimulated, I feel. And I mean, that word stimulated, that could be mentally stimulated, it could be physically stimulated. Maybe there is something going on here as well, with how you are physically intimate with partners. You know, you getting bored really, really quickly. That could be a thing as well. So when it comes down to your relationships with others, it's like with this energy, you tend not to stick around in one place for too long, okay? Now again, not going to resonate for absolutely everybody, okay? It might only be little bits and pieces here and there that are resonating. That could also be the type of people that you find yourself being attracted to as well, you know, people who are emotionally flighty. You know, you could find yourself being attracted to emotionally flighty people. That it could be reading that way as well, okay? How does this trauma affect the way that you see yourself? Nine of Coins, fiercely independent. You see yourself as basically not able to depend on anyone else other than yourself. Now, in certain circumstances, that can be really, really healthy. But then when it comes down to being in relationships with others, again, romantically or not, that can be quite unhealthy, okay? There is such a thing as being too independent. When you think about relationships, they're supposed to be built on fairness, balance, equality. Any kind of relationship, it's supposed to be where you're all on the same page as each other, you know. So again, not wanting to accept help when it's being offered, that can make the other person feel a bit pushed out, rejected, dejected, whatever, okay. There is such a thing as being too independent, right? So again, just recognize that when it's happening and recognizing where it stems from, okay? There is going to be a time where you're in a healthy relationship with someone else and they are going to actively want to help you out with things. They are going to want to be contributing to the relationship, you know, through helping you out with things. And it's like, if you're constantly pushing them away because of this fierce independence, how is that going to make them feel? You know, you can certainly sympathize if the tables were turned, you know. So this is all about allowing someone else to get a little bit closer to you, you know. It's okay for you to lean on that special someone once in a while, okay? That is allowed, all right? What do you need to do in order to release this trauma? Temperance. The main thing is to give yourself time with temperance, okay? That's the card of alchemy. It's about balance, patience, and moderation. You've got to give yourself time. Don't put any time limits on yourself with anything. And of course, it's okay for you as well to test the waters, okay, with certain things. Test the waters, give yourself time, show yourself a lot more patience. If you try and rush anything, if you try and rush the healing process, then you will find that it's going to be quite a volatile experience, okay? So patience is the key. Right, what lessons can you learn from your past experiences? The Four of Wands, yeah. It's a card of stability, security. Again, that's reaching milestones. It can also be about communities, okay? So there are certain lessons that you've learnt about certain communities, possibly, that are for you, certain communities where you feel safe, where you feel comfortable. And I feel that you will be reaching a very important milestone as well when it comes down to learning certain lessons about who it is that you can or cannot trust, okay? Remembering that your Four of Wands is one of the most, in my opinion, stable cards in the entire tarot deck, okay? It really is about stable home and stable life. So I feel that you're learning on how to create that environment for yourself, okay? The environment of a stable family. Maybe you didn't come from a stable family and now you know what an unstable family looks like. You'll know what to avoid or what to do in order to create that Four of Wands, the stable family life that you've always been needing, okay? This is all about feeling content, you know, feeling content within your own skin and feeling content within your environment as well, okay? It can indicate cooperation, okay, because it's got 4 people in that card. So learning how to cooperate and work with others as well, I feel. Right, how you can begin to move past your bad experiences, the Wheel of the Year, that's the Wheel of Fortune. Recognizing that there are certain cycles that you're needing to go through, okay? Again, it's all about not forcing anything. with this one, I would also say I am feeling a bit of that magician type energy with this, because you've got the Ace of Cups, Ace of Coins, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. It's like you have all of the tools that you need in order to be successful. Like whatever your image of success is, it's like you do have what it takes to be successful. So this is all about keep moving forward, okay? Keep moving forward. Wheel of Fortune, of course, is about fate, karma, and destiny. Recognize that you were destined for greater things. You might not have felt very lucky in your life, and certainly, you know, you might not have been very lucky in your life, but certainly fortunes are turning, okay? So lean into what you can do with what you have now, rather than lament over what you didn't have or what you didn't get, okay? So that's how you can move past these traumatic experiences. It's all about what you can create right here, right now, and the power that you do still have, okay? You will find that normally trauma came from life experiences where you were powerless, okay? You're no longer powerless. You now have the power, okay? How will your life change when you finally do start to process and work through your trauma? Okay, so it's the Three of Swords. So it indicates that yes, it is going to be a painful journey, but it's also going to be very, very beneficial. Okay, there are this month I feel that there are old wounds are going to be reopened. Okay, that's because there is still something in there that is needing to be addressed rather than ignored. Okay, so it's giving yourself permission and time to go through the necessary grieving process. Three of Swords, okay? And remember as well that it's always the darkest before the dawn, right? There are going to be days of repression, you know, those days where you wake up and you just randomly feel heavy and sad and lethargic, okay? And then all of these old memories are going to be right at the forefront. You're not going to be able to explain where they came from or understand where they came from, but just recognize that they are there, and that you're needing to sit with that, okay? You need to sit with that so that you can process what's going on for you. And then the next day, you're going to feel a lot better, okay? So I do call those days of repression. Honestly, the best thing that you can do with that is to maybe write down how you're feeling within that moment, okay? Right, so who will you become when you start to release your trauma? Knight of Cups. You will become someone who is far more loving, not just to others but also to yourself. Someone who is far more compassionate, far more open, and definitely someone who is far more willing to allow other people to get close to them on an emotional level. So you see, at the moment you're afraid of someone getting close to you on an emotional level. You definitely keep people at an arm's length. So you're going to feel a lot more stable, secure, and balanced within yourself emotionally, okay? You have a healing message for our collective, please. I do apologise beforehand about the shuffling of this particular deck. As you can see, it is quite a large deck, but it's also a really awkward shape. It's a lovely deck. I don't know why they went with this shape, though. It's very difficult to handle. Right. Okay, so your healing advice is to tune out of your thoughts and into your heart. Interesting. So when these repressed memories come up, don't focus too much on the details of that memory. Focus more on how that memory is making you feel, okay? Everything that you're looking for is really inside of you. So look within, keep an open heart and mind, and then follow your intuition. Beyond thought, there is a knowing that embraces all knowledge. Your inner vision has a magnetic quality that draws everything you need closer to you. Yeah. I knew I was feeling that with the Wheel of Fortune energy. Okay, you are drawing everything that you need in life to meet you, to come in closer to you. It's manifesting. Okay. Really interesting. So I will hold this up for you so that you can get your own intuitive hits as well. Okay, because your own intuition is very, very important. Right, so let's pull you a card from one of the cheeky decks just to conclude your reading. And if you're unfamiliar with my channel, these end decks, they can be full of swearing or sarcasm. So if you're allergic to either, then you don't have to listen. Okay, right. Oh shit is a phrase that is used simultaneously for good shit and for bad shit. So next time you say oh shit, think of only the good shit that is happening for you. Right, so focus on the good things that are happening for you, to you, and around you. Okay. Right, let's see if we can pull you one more. What guidance do you have for our collective, please? There's also a message here as well for some that not everybody is going to understand your trauma, and that's okay. All right, speak your truth. Stand up for what you believe in, regardless of the consequences. Speak your truth, no matter what others may think. It is time to stand in your own power for all the world to see. So you can speak about what's happened to you, what you've gone through, without necessarily trauma dumping. Okay, so trauma dumping is basically, say you've met a brand new person and they want to know a little bit about you, and then all of a sudden your entire life story comes out and they're like sitting there open mouthed like, what the fuck? Okay, that can be trauma dumping. Discussing your trauma in a healthy way, that can be done with someone who is either a professional or someone who is very, very trusted to you. And it's like, you know, little bits and pieces. It's like, today I'm struggling because, you know, this thing reminded me of a really bad memory that I had when yada yada yada. Okay, so that there are healthy ways of how you can discuss your trauma, and then there are unhealthy ways, but you'll find as well that can be quite triggering for you guys this month is where other people use their past traumas as a crutch to be nasty or entitled towards other people. Okay, it's like someone else treating you like shit and then them expecting for you just to take it because they've had trauma, you know. Well, it's like 99.999% of people on the planet have had trauma, okay? And the vast majority of them do not allow that as an excuse to be a little shit to other people, okay? So I do feel that that's going to be a bit of a trigger for you guys this month. And of course, to recognize that you don't do that, or if you are in the tiny minority that is doing that, then be aware that that's what's going on, okay? Because again, it's like, it's not my place to judge either way. I just have to read the cards, read the energy, okay? So there it is. That is your message for the day. I just genuinely hope that that reading has been helpful to someone. If you feel that you could benefit from a personal reading, then I am taking bookings on my website, which is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.